Check, check.
Oh.
Thank you. Kailan ang bayaran ng tuition fee, Ika?
Huwag mo na tanungin. Nasasaktan ako.
The Inaris Sports Arena is just about ready for the final week of the preliminaries, as some teams will be saying goodbye while the others will be saying see you later. But the question is, which teams will be moving on to the next round? This is where power meets passion. Welcome to the Spikers Turf.
It is day 17 of the preliminaries of the Invitational Conference of your Spikers Turf, and we are here at the epicenter of what has become men's commercial volleyball. And it's going to be exciting because it is a question whether the orange and blue team will be able to crunch their way into the semis and etch their names into the history books of the league, or will the team donning purple and white be able to punch their first win? That is the big question as we bring you a doubleheader here at the Spikers Turf. Your first match, it is a crisscross King Crunchers going up against CHICHI Brotherhood Titans. And then after this, it will be the PGJC Navy Sea Lions going up against the Martelli Meets Master Butchers. Mabuhay Pilipinas, thank you for joining us wherever you may be. You may be in One Sports Plus, or the Pilipinas Live app. I'm Sinjan Reyes, together with Coach Ronnie Magsanok. And of course, earlier we saw our reporter, Mika Abesamis.
That's right. As we proceed to game number 40, we find ourselves 17 play dates after teams trying to still gain a spot in the Final Four. Well, for those teams outside of the Final Four, it's all about finishing in a strong note here in the Spikers Turf Conference. As we take a look at the team standings, the race is to make it to the top four, because the top four will guarantee a spot in the semifinals, and they will be joined by a team from abroad. This is where the team stands right now, and for CHICHI Titans, it's all about gaining a set at least from a powerhouse team in the King Crunchers, who just came off a victory in their last match. CHICHI, meanwhile, coming off a loss against Marcelo meets Master Butchers, once again in 3 straight sets.
It was a great start for CHICHI in the first game, but you know, they've stumbled upon it. But we look back on the other side of the court first as we focus our stories and the tail of the tape with the crisscross King Crunchers. They faced the DLSU Eco Oil Green Oilers, and in that last match, they won it in 3 straight sets against the young guns here of the league.
This was the 4th straight win for the crisscross King Crunchers, a match that they were looking to win, although not that easily. They shut down the offense of De La Salle. The Eco Oilers could only come up with that much in the second set. The closest set was the 3rd set, but eventually the final point came off a net touch that eventually led to a 3-set win for the King Crunchers. Absolute dominance in terms of offense, as Noel Campton and Vince Maglinaw played sparingly for the Eco Oilers. Only had 1 player in double figures versus 4 players scoring over 10 points for Coach Ty Bundit.
You've mentioned they lorded in all scoring categories. In non-scoring categories, they led in all that except for receptions. But in setting, of course, someone has been making a comeback to his vintage performance. It's a throwback performance for one Ish Polvorosa, the 5-time UAAP best setter.
A 5-time UAAP best setter, a 5-time or a many-time UAAP champion, also an SK chairman, a part of the 2019 silver medal team in the Southeast Asian Games held in Manila. And he is also a Spikers Turf champion, who has played for his 3rd PVL team, or rather for his 3rd Spikers Turf team. And right now, it's all about peak performance for Ish Polvorosa. A large reason why the King Crunchers are one of the top offensive teams. Imagine 20 excellent sets in just 3 sets played, and that's the kind of efficiency that Ish Polvorosa upon his sleeve, game in and game out.
But in that last moment, you just got him hitting.
Why
that
not?
might be the surprise of today. But let's head on to the other side of the court, Ronnie. It was a very interesting match against 2 teams that were looking for their very first win here in the Spikers Turf. Unfortunately, the CHICHI Titans wasn't able to bounce back and snatch their first win.
They tried to get that first set, but lost it eventually, 25-19. Lost also second set, 25-20. Dropping the 3rd set, 25-19. They have won only a total of, let me double check this, 3 sets so far. Out of the 8 games that they have played. They will be playing their final match, hopeful that somehow they can keep in step against the mighty unit of Coach Ty Bundit. But for Coach Obet Javier, it's all about the learning curve that they can get, as they also bid to once again join the Spikers Turf come February of 2025.
But there's, of course, a bright spot, and we have to focus our lenses on one Jonathan Sorio, who played impressively against the Martelli meets Master Butchers. It was his 3rd time to score in double digits, gaining a total of 14 big points.
He scored 14 of his team's 58 points, 11 of 42 in terms of attack percentage. He's number 14 in scoring, Nathan, as his goal comes from PUP. At 5'11", he scored 66 points to be number 14 in the Spikers Turf. A product of San Juan, an MVP in the Mayor's Cup, played for Vanguard, IEM, and also comes from Doro Dios Integrated School in high school. His dream to play in the Spikers Turf. He's living his dream, chasing his dream, trying to make a big name for himself here in the highest and most elite club competition in the country.
Now, all eyes are on the captain of the CHICHI team. But now, let's put our eyes on our courtside reporter, Mika Abesamis, who has a question for all our fans out there.
All right, as usual, we would like to include you in our conversation through our Pilipinas Live app and, of course, our hashtag, which is Spikers Turf 2024, through our Facebook and our Instagram pages. And today, our question would be, which team will display solid floor defense? Once again, that is which team will display solid floor defense. You can do that through our hashtag, which is Spikers Turf 2024, through our Facebook and our Instagram pages. Now it's going to be Crisscross versus CHICHI sa pagbabalik ng Spikers Turf 2024.
back here inside the Nair Sports Arena in Pasig City as CRISS is going up against CHICHI Brotherhood Titans. It's going to be an interesting match as, you know, a lot of followers of the league are, of course, watching how CRISS will perform after ending in the podium last conference. And on the side of the CHICHI Titans, they're trying to introduce themselves here inside the court. Now we're seeing some of their key players, Pepito, who has been playing stellar. It has been a great haul for the boys wearing orange and blue right before this conference. Meanwhile, CHICHI really just trying to find their groove here, Coach Ron. They had an explosive first game, but it wasn't enough to steamroll them into a great performance throughout the conference.
The first week was actually the best week for CHICHI Brotherhood Titans as we listen in to the starting unit for these two respective clubs.
Presenting our national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Fernando Velarde. Second referee, Mr. Erlindo Eusebio. Let's welcome our starting lineup from our CRISS King Crunchers. Let's begin with their team captain who wears jersey number 14, Esmilzo Jona Alvorosa. At number 1, Angelo Nicolas Almendras. Wearing jersey number 5, Jude Garcia. At number 11, Francis Philip Saura. Number 12 is Chumason Celestine Enjiga. And number 16, Giancarlo Glorioso. Starting libero is number 22, Manuel Sumangil. Head coach, Mr. Anusorn, Coach Tai Bundit. Presenting our CHICHI DHTSI Brotherhood Titans. Team captain wear jersey number 5, Jonathan Sorio. At number 3, Matthew Miguel. Wearing jersey number 4, Gianpaolo John Mosera. Number 11, Rene Lopez. Number 13, Christian Alicante. And number 16, Rafael Del Pilar. Starting libero is number 25, Dan Carlo de la Cruz. Head coach, Mr. Roberto, Coach Obet Javier. This is match number 40, preliminary round, season 7.
There's your starting units from both squads. We're seeing very familiar faces from the side of CRISS King Crunchers. The only change from their last match against LaSalle, Marasigan and Intal are not suiting up. Rather, it will be Saura and Enjiga who will be leading the charge. On the side of CHICHI, it's going to be the usual suspects. The biggest leap here is Mosera will be starting and Del Pilar. So going to see how these adjustments will work. Both coaches starting off with changes and variances from their previous matches. So let's see if that will work in favor of them or against them.
According to Coach Obet Javier, two key players will not be seeing action for him this afternoon, and that will be his primary setter, Ferdinand Deniega, and likewise John Mark Lim, are questionable. One is still at work, the other also is not going to be able to join them in this contest, their final match before wrapping their Spikers Turf campaign.
We kick things off with a serve coming from CHICHI. That hit coming from Almendras will shank away from the arms of CHICHI, and that becomes a point for CRISS.
Nico Almendras, of course, a decorated player coming out of the National University program. Also a national player who scored 11 points in their last win versus the Echo Oilers from De La Salle.
multi-titled collegiate athlete, now making his presence felt here in the Commercial League. That hit coming from the captain of CHICHI, Jonathan Sorio, but the answer coming from the left wing.
That's the MVP in the previous conference. Recently named as the Player of the Week. I believe just last November 13 to 17, Jude Garcia.
Unsurprising, a very athletic player.
And a medalist likewise in beach volleyball in the Southeast Asian Games. Who tormented the FU team and dealt FU also a loss, trying to teach his schoolmates a lesson or two.
Where he's also playing as a coach.
Correct.
Moonlighting as a coach. As it's 3-2 love. Sumanggid with that pop-up. Polvorosa goes to Garcia, who hits that ball out.
On the first 4 points coming from Jude Garcia, coming up with that masterpiece. Jude Garcia, number 1 in spike percentage at 55%, number 8 in blocks, number 8 in receptions at 46%, 133 points scored in 8 games so far.
Oh, Glorioso joining in the score tally as he lords over the net. Now CHICHI will be calling the first time out and will be flickering here. Let's listen to Coach Obet Javier.
Huwag natin antayin na magkamali yung kalaban para lang makiscore tayo. Ha? Gawin natin ng tamang galaw. Hindi tayo makakapalo kapag wala tayong ipapasa. Iwasan mo idikit yung bola dahil malalaki, sigurado tutudukutin yan. Ha? Pag tayo papalo, 90% babalik ang bola sa atin. So yung ilalim, pasagot sa ilalim, yung coverage ha.
Coach Obet looking for coverage at the tail end of that timeout, but steady reminders, you cannot be playing passive in a game like this. You're going up against tall, athletic players in crisscross.
One of the strongest lineups that we have here in the Spikers turf will finish in the second spot against their nemesis, the Signal HC Spikers, and that's Nathan Sorio, player that we highlighted, their top player, the leading scorer. A bright light for Coach Obet Javier.
He answers the call of Coach Obet and gets that first point. Cross court. Polvorosa now goes up to the opposite side. Saura, who has embraced this position already.
Right, an opposite spiker. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone. That's one. And number 2, trying to be more flexible and versatile based on the need. Also helps his overall package.
But that's unsurprising if you're very familiar with Coach Tai's system, because that's something he likes doing, switching the positions of especially the middle and the opposite spiker. As CHICHI garners another point here, courtesy of a freebie.
This is Del Pilar, the elder brother of...
Not Del Pilar?
Yes.
I see the resemblance. Polvorosa going to the be quick, and that works for Chumoson and Jiga. They now lead by 5 here, talking about the orange shirts.
Jiga, major force at the middle. We did not see action in their last win.
And that's just a testament to how deep the bench here of Crisscross. I mean, the fact that you have Saura on the opposite side means you have a bounty of middle blockers, as a solid block comes from the side of Crisscross, and that gives a 6-point lead to the King Crunchers as we head on for a quick break.
back at the Tenares Sports Arena for your Spikers Turf 2024 as CHICHI will be having their final appearance going against the strong King Crunchers. The instructions were simple. Have fun and more importantly, learn. Some of the qualities of crisscross that Coach Obet asked the boys to take note of were their service and blockings, having some of the best in the team like Francis Saura, Jude Garcia, and Ian Glorioso. Another thing is the setting of Ish Polvorosa, who did a great job specifically against the young DLSU last Sunday. Sabi niya, makakuha lang kayo ng aral sa mga taong ito. Yun ang tunay na panalo. Sinjin and Coach Ronnie.
Thank you so much, Mika, as we head on for this quick challenge. It's a challenge for ball in, ball out. You've mentioned Ish Polvorosa, who played stellar in their last game. He tried to join the scoring party in that last sequence, and they are asking if that ball is in or out, and we will find out in this challenge. Coach Ronnie, Mika has pointed out a lot of great things there. You know, playing volleyball for CHICHI, of course, it's also about enjoying it. You can't just be playing and be stuck in the pressure as we look at the decision from the
That's a
review.
good call. Eagle eyes.
Well,
Ish Polvorosa, he called it.
he was a Blue Eagles.
Well, he took the shot and probably he saw that diagonal placement was right there at that zone. Well, according to Mika, it's all about the learning curve, and not everybody gets a chance to play in the Spikers turf.
The opportunity has been limited to 10 teams, and they will be learning more as they enter the semis, having an invited team join the fold. That will not check in for Nico Almendas.
1 attack point, 2 free points. That's the total number of production so far here in set 1 for CBT, CHICHI Brotherhood Titans.
Polvorosa sitting down set 1 at back quick, and Giga finishing it off.
Number 2 in spike percentage at 47%. When you take a look at the categories, scoring and non-scoring, CHICHI is at number 10 in all categories. Meanwhile, for the team of Coach Steinbutt, they're almost either the number 1 or number 2 spot, except for service aces, where they are at number 6 with 17 aces heading to this match.
You know, but it's not possible, Coach Ronnie, for CHICHI because as we saw in that last sequence, pwede pa din nilang gawa ng para nito bilog ang bola.
Laban lang. Oo. Yun naman
Puso
hinahanap ni Coach Obet, yung just compete.
Alicante with that serve. Polvorosa going up to Almendas. And there's a net infraction that will be called against Miguel.
35 blocks in 8 matches for CHICHI Titans compared to 77. The best blocking team, one of the top defending teams. That's no doubt the King Crunchers.
7-point lead for the best blocking team that you've mentioned, and they get an 8-point lead with a block. Again, Glorioso and Almendras, 2 players who have been competing against each other for the longest time, but this time conniving with that solid block, as you see on that replay. And Giga serves now, going for that floater. Picked up by CHICHI. Sorio will try, getting that one through, kept alive by Polvorosa. Ball is still alive. Adjustment coming from the King Crunchers. They go up to Sorio. Sorio denied.
Good coverage.
Payong na payong, though, on the side of King Crunchers. They go up to the pipe, or to the back row. That is going to sail out for Saura.
Our first rally that we have seen here so far in set 1. And that augurs well here for the Titans, who comes up with their 5th point on that Francis Saura mishit.
Matthew Miguel will now serve for the white shirts. Going for that loop. Almendras going cross-court, popped up by Alicante. That is going to sail out.
3 of the first 5 points coming from the Titans, coming from errors by the King Crunchers. And this is what some analysts and anchors were referring to during the games of the Titans, wherein most of their points come from unforced errors by their opponents.
That has been recognized by Coach Obet earlier when he said, "Huwag nating hintayin
magkamali
at bigyan tayo ng puntos." Solid block again from one of the prolific blocking teams in the league. Let's look at that again.
This is top of radar. Definitely their defensive game plan anchored in containing the scoring ways of Jonathan Sorio or Nathan Sorio, was once upon a time an MVP in the Mayor's Cup in San Juan.
Sorio trying again. That's covered by Crisscross. They go up to Almendras, who winds up for that one.
This is a must win for crisscross. But more than that, this is the kind of respect that they have for their opponents in the Spikers team. Always come up with your solid lineup, always play your best.
I was able to watch several games, and you know, Coach Tai is not playing easy in the men's league. If you know if you know him to be very happy and very jovial, here he's very serious. He's very dedicated, and it's a very different reaction.
You take care of business. You minimize your floor time as much as you can. You stay away from unnecessary injuries. Then you prepare for the next match. And as we all know, after this round, we go to the semi-final phase, wherein there will be a single round robin play, and one team from abroad will be joining. And you want to be the top of your game as we head to the second technical timeout with CKC up by 10 versus CPT.
She's smiling like she used to smile way back then. She's feeling like she used to feel way back when.
Maybe this time. Hindi ko alam kung sino kumanta eh. Basta sikat to sa TikTok ngayon eh. And it feels alright, baby, this time.
I believe volleyball talent does not translate to
Next.
or sana sinayaw na lang,
Oy,
Coach.
bakit naman ganun? Pwede naman magkasabay.
Sumasayaw na kanina eh. As we go back to the game, Lopez going cross-court, and that becomes a crisscross points.
Try to score off the block, try to target the blockers, but overshoots the mark. Biggest lead stands at 11 right now.
Nagpigil lang ako, Coach, pero patanong na sana ako, may
Nang ano?
TikTok ka ba? Nagti-TikTok ka ba?
Next.
Next. Back to the next sequence. A quick hit coming from Del Pilar. Oops. Crisscross, giving up a sky ball. That's popped up by the libero. Lopez denied this time.
Went away from the blockers earlier, now attacking the double block. Same result. Point goes to the orange shirts. We're now ahead by 12.
Blocking has been formidable for Crisscross.
Solid to say the least. Ooh. Gianpaolo John Mosera is going to be tested as the primary setter today in the absence of Ferdinand Diniega.
You try from the right wing and get a point courtesy of Sorio.
At least 3 points in the match for Nathan Sorio. Their top gun on this back set.
He's been hitting from the left, from the right.
Gets most of the touches in their last game alone. He had 25 attempts, converted 10.
Oh, but that answer coming from Glorioso was hitting it from a 4 already.
3 points for Glorioso, who's number 23 in scoring with 58 points fired. Heading to this game, 31-25 in 2 in terms of attack points, blocks, and service aces.
It's a different tempo in that last sequence for the quicker. Polvorosa goes up to Saura. Saura getting it off the block. Kept alive here by Chichi. De La Cruz will give this to the other side. Chance ball for Crisscross. They go up for a back quick. And Giga
Wow.
serving up a slight facial.
Well, what about Ish Polvorosa? Perfect button push. Opposite, back set, open. It's only the pike that we haven't seen so far in terms of offensive arsenal here for the King Crunchers.
But he has laid out his cards here as a regalo for Jude Garcia. It's already ballooned to a 14-point lead, and Coach Obet will be pounding the alarm once again.
Okay lang. Okay lang. Oh. Ipilitin lang natin makita yung bola at bahala na kung paano gagawa ng opener yung talon pa. Ginagawa na tayo yung antena nung net ng kalaban. Talon pa, kulang pa sa talon. Sige, pwede ba? Angat pa natin, taas pa natin, no?
May goal tayo, angat tayo score. Kaya natin yan, ha? Titans! Pwede pa.
Signs of optimism from the side of Chichi still, as they're down by 14.
You only get to play against your opponents once if you will not make it to the semifinals. So you get the most out of the floor time that you have. As Mika pointed out earlier, the learnings that you can get, yung mga aral na makukuha mo at matututunan mo.
So really maximizing the opportunity as Del Pilar will try to sneak one in. Garcia adjusting, and it's been a golden touch for Jude Garcia.
I marvel at the players who have come from indoor volleyball, played beach volleyball, returned to indoor volleyball, and become these kind of standouts. The likes of Arbasto, Requinton, of course, Jude Garcia, and on the distaff side, Cici Rondina, Bernadette Ponce, and Jovi Gonzaga.
All have been showing stellar performances as they make their return in the indoor court.
Exactly. Dominant performances. Likewise, representing flag and country and winning medals for the country in the recent Southeast Asian Games, or for the case of Ishpol Vorosa in 2019 in that historic silver medal finish for Team Philippines.
Oh, now CRISS enters set point era as they are just 1 point away from closing this out. And they have 17 set points to their favor.
You're correct. Probably a conference best.
And I don't know if this is historical, but so far, CHICHI is still pumping some blood into their arsenal.
They continue to fight. This time it's Alicante scoring off the block. Alicante was the second leading scorer with 11 points against Martelli Meets.
A 16-point lead here for CRISS. CHICHI has to play perfect to keep this close. Serve coming from De La Cruz. Sumangid was there. Polvorosa going for that quick, and that is the exclamation point needed by the King Crunchers.
Ishpol Vorosa making sure that they clinch that last point to close out the set as quick as possible. Almost an overpass, but an adjustment that led to that final point delivered by Chuma Injiga for set 1 for CRISS King Crunchers.
CRISS leads 25-8. We'll be back for set number 2. Action continues where power meets passion here at the Spikers Turf as we bring you the first serving of our doubleheader in this Wednesday. CRISS winning set number 1, 25-8. It was a very dominant performance for the King Crunchers. They were able to really lead and pull away. Meanwhile, CHICHI had some few bright spots, but still looking to figure out how to get through the blocking of the King Crunchers.
A 5-0 lead to open up this match in the first 3 minutes will highlight this steamroll for CRISS. And it's not just that distinct advantage in terms of attack points. It's the attack rate, the attack percentage. That's probably at about 70%. So this is a call out and a challenge to the blocking and big defense of the Titans, who have been outblocked at 5-0. They also gave up 2 service errors. And you have Ishpol Vorosa spreading the wealth with 2, 4, 5 players scoring at least 3 points or better for them compared to Sorian Alicante accounting for 4 of the first set points. Kasi yung iba ay galing na sa errors ng King Crunchers.
And
74% attack rate.
For CRISS, what an impressive performance. It's like 3 out of 4 of their attempts have been successful.
Mahina ako sa numbers, binasa ko lang. It's like target practice.
Yes.
Sabi nga ni Coach Obet, parang ginagawa silang antena ng kalaban. Oo.
And it's really about the challenge that they will impose against the King Crunchers, as we're seeing some change of guards here.
But still big names.
Yes.
Fem Bagalay and Villados, of course.
Femi Bangalay, who has been a standout also, who has been part of beach volleyball teams as well.
And a record holder in terms of scoring in the NCAA.
So these are big names for Crisscross, but you know, it's giving opportunity in court time as well to the others, as Del Pilar kicks things off for Chichi.
Enough is enough, says Del Pilar. Comes out of the De La Salle volleyball program and from Quezon City as well. Yun ang sabi niya, dun sila na-recruit ng kapatid niya na naglalaro ngayon at present.
For the Eco Oil Green
Correct.
Oilers.
Si Coach Dulay daw ang nag-recruit sa kanya nung siya'y naglaro sa De La Salle.
King Crunchers get to tie things up at 1 as Bangalay serves. That's a block as Crisscross does not allow that to cross, courtesy of Glorioso.
One of the top blockers that we have was named as the best player of the game 2 games ago for Crisscross.
Femi with that serve. That swipe coming from Chichi's Alicante.
Nice. That's Christian Tantan Alicante, 22 years old from PCU. Went to Arellano University in high school. At naglaro sa ASCU na kung saan first best outside hitter at MVP.
So these are faces and names that we're starting to get to know here as we see that cannon coming from Saura. Let's get that again.
How much better has Francis become? Adrian Villados also a premium setter. I believe comes out of Arellano University.
And that's overreach. It's going to be an overreach there.
Trying another setter here in the absence of their primary setter. Si Deniega, who according to Coach Albert Javier, will not be able to make it this afternoon.
Roldan, who is part of the training pool and who wasn't part of the lineup in their last match against Martelli Meets. It's a tighter second set as the score output has been quite close. That serve coming from Lopez, that quick hit coming from Injiga, or the tip from Injiga. Alicante trying this time. Coverage from Garcia. They go up to Saura. Saura going down the line.
Good shift. Turning the action from the middle all the way to the opposite. Good change of pace coming from Adrian Villados.
And, that just goes to show how deep this bench of the King Crunchers is. Serve coming from Saura. They go up to Alicante. Alicante gets a check ball.
He's been trying to do that since set 1. Finally succeeds.
That was a very interesting sequence. Injiga was cheering already as if they won the point. And then nung tinanong siya kung may check ba, sabi niya meron. That serve coming from Alicante.
Wala namang masama.
Nag-cheer lang naman siya, Coach. Injiga bumawi.
Getting a lot of floor time today.
2-point lead for Crisscross. Let's look at that again. Back quick. You know, I've been noticing the system of the setters of Crisscross, both Polvorosa and
Jewel Asia?
Jewel Asia, and actually all three of them. Mayroon silang ipet coach na tinatawag natin, yung they kind of delay the ball just to give better timing, especially in the quick. I've been seeing it earlier. It's a different tempo, but it works. As Villados, who is leading the charge here this time.
That continues to work. The playmakers understanding that the blocking of Chichi is challenged. Continues to go to the middle. And that spot has given them at least 8 points dating back to that set 1 win.
And really maximizing the middle there. And that's what you love about or that's when you see the differences in men's volleyball. The middle really showing a lot of activity as Glorioso closes and brings us to the first technical timeout. They lead by 3, talking about Crisscross.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf 2024. Sinjin, I like how you mentioned the demeanor of Coach Tai towards this league, how serious he is. Well, he said, win the day. These were his simple but important words to the boys. As they are focused on their efforts getting into the next round, they obviously need to eliminate complacency against whichever opponent. According to the best translator of Coach Tai, Pemi Bagalay, their goal today is for everyone on the lineup to be able to play in preparation for the more challenging rounds. As one of the strong contenders of the league, they are expected to have complete chemistry come the Final Four, so everyone needs to practice those quality minutes on the court. And so far, everyone living up to the expectations, but Chichi just right beside them in the set. Sinjin, Coach Ronnie.
Thank you so much, Mika. As much as I want to acknowledge that report, apologies again because we are going into another challenge. There's a block touch challenge called here by CRISS. This was requested by the players earlier while Mika was reporting because Pemi and the rest of the players that Mika have mentioned in her report were actually very active into the decision making as we look at the block touch challenge here. And there you go. Sabi nila wala, pero
Sinabi naman ni Coach Tai kanina na
meron. He was disagreeing actually, but he was giving the chance to the players.
You know what, based on from our perspective, and most of the time, pag ganyan yung action sa net, alam mo talaga kadalasan may block touch. So, kaya bumabalik.
Kaya napunta
Bumabanda.
Hindi naman babalik dahil lang sa net minsan. An easy recovery coming from CRISS,
Wow.
courtesy of Glorioso. He's been very explosive in
This
the last few
conference has been a
sequences.
different one for Glorioso.
As we recognize Rabisco's Alan Acero, who is here in support of their men's team. Of course, a lot of excitement also in their women's team, the Cool Smashers.
More than a lot. Another offensive block here, courtesy of Glorioso. And Bagalay joining forces to give their team its highest lead here in set 2, a 4-point cushion for the hard-fighting team of the Titans.
As we recognize that Blocken will head on over to this timeout by Coach Obet Javier. Let's listen in.
Go tayo, Carlos. Di ba magaling kang dumipensa? Pakita mo ngayon yung galing mo. Ha? Babawi tayo. Kaya pa yan. Laro tayo, laro. Laro.
Pagkapalo sa gaya, humiga na kayong lahat.
Titans.
Coach Obet giving a different approach in this timeout. He showed a little sarcasm na parang, di ba magaling naman tayo dumipensa? So, trying to wake them up, challenging the players to show up and show the skills that they do in training as we have that serve. Oh, that's a solid block there against Lopez.
And that will be block number 8 overall, third in the set. That's 3 of the first 11 points, almost 50% of their total, 25% of their total output coming from offensive blocks.
Villados with that serve. Roldan goes up to the captain, Sorio. Oh, great anticipation there coming from Lopez, adjusting.
A free ball given up. Lopez strikes quickly. Stops a scoring run for the King Crunchers and puts point number 7.
The lead is maintained to 4. Sorio trying to catch up here together with the rest of Chichi. Villados going up to Bagalay. Bagalay getting that point.
Knowing how Fem Bagalay has matured and developed into a complete offensive package, a single block is not necessarily the best defensive option against him.
That's not enough to contain Pemi. He's a high flyer. And malikot ang kamay niyan, Coach.
Accurate. Glorioso again with that rejection. 9 blocks total to complete 86 blocks heading to this game and establish themselves as the best blocking team.
He's been doing wonders in the net.
The leading scorer is Glorioso, who has 3 of his 8 points coming from offensive blocks.
Also tallies an ace there. Sumanggid with that coverage. They go up to Garcia. Sumanggid was there to cover. Villados going to the opposite side this time. Oh!
You have Garcia at the left wing, rather at the right wing. Or left wing, and then Sara at the right, pin, and then Glorioso at the middle.
And That was a confusing request here from second referee in Lindo
Pinapapasok lang sila sa box.
Sa box.
Oo.
Proper protocol.
Correct, always. Net touch by Glorioso. First violation of that kind for Chris Cross. We're still ahead by this much. Looking for win number 7.
Which, according to our VAS here,
Will formalize their entry to
Yes.
the semis and avoid any complications. Kasi ang daming nakadikit na sa Eco Oil dahil nakadalawang sunod na talo. At gusto mo, lumusot ka na rin sa semis.
Now we have Yorong. Jufranch Yorong serving for Chichi. Villados going to Glorioso. That has been converting easily for the King Crunchers.
Another good pass here by Chris Cross, whose reception efficiency is the best, 46%. So, excellent passing team, number 1 blocking team. Tough, really, to compete against.
Roldan going up to the left pin as Alicante gets that through the block.
Alicante and Sorio are the two most successful hitters. But will this be enough? That was a gap in the double wall.
Still a 6-point question here for Chris Cross. Let's see if Chichi will complete its run as Garcia says no go.
That's a zone 1 bomb delivered by Jude Garcia. 133 points heading to this game. So far, Garcia with 7. That's 140 total to lead all scorers here in the Spikers turn.
Ilang beses na rin tayo humihindi. Palagi, TJ Montero. Sa huli, palagi, babalik pa rin sa yakap mo.
Napanood mo na ba yung movie?
Hindi pa, coach. Wala tayong time eh. May time ka na, coach?
Kinuwento lang ng family ko kasi 3 beses na nila napanood. Sila may time. 3 beses na.
Pero hindi yung duet yung version na kinanta naman.
Si KZ sa kasi. Kita mo, alam ko.
Updated si coach.
Gusto nila yung yung isang song. December Avenue ba yun? Tama, December Avenue.
Kung diin tayo sa hindi. Okay, back to the para papunta na tayo music critic here as we have to critique that one.
That's a nice one.
Yes, that's a nice adjustment here.
Most emphatic kill. Most emphatic kill for this match.
Showing some aggression on the side of Chichi. They have to
keep fighting.
Yeah, and impose a challenge here as Alicante will serve now with 5 attack points in this game. They go up to Garcia.
As Ish Polvorosa announces his re-entry with another excellent set. Definitely good pass coming from Chris Cross, leading to that flight by Jude Garcia.
That jump set with a delay and then that flight with Ish Polvorosa. It looks like an alley-oop already.
Yes. No doubt.
7-point lead. Trimmed down to 6 after that freebie given up by Chris Cross.
4 errors for the King Crunchers in set 1. One of the quickest sets I've seen here in this conference as we approach game number 40. In a conference that started last October 16, 41 days after, we have 3 teams almost already inside the semis. FEU, Signal, and with the impending win, that will be the King Crunchers. 1 more seat remains.
And dyan na yung karambola sa gitna.
Konti na lang ang play dates. Konti na lang ang laro. A misstep will cost you that spot.
Well, we're down to our last 3 game days as we recognize this delayed back set to Chumason and Jiga. Great adjustment there from Chu, but that is the connection that they have in this team as they've gelled. Arbasto trying to join the party, but that is Going out, they're asking for a check ball. Talagang kinoconvince si Coach Tai. Check talaga.
Pero natatawa si Coach Tai.
Yeah.
Oh, sige.
Naalala ko lang.
Tira mo. Sige. Umamin.
Umamin. Oh.
Fair play.
Fair play.
This one, they're correct. Arbaso, also a beach volleyball expert. Naubos nga yung
Iba
beach
ang
volleyball national team.
Yeah. Iba ang court sense ng mga beach volleyball players natin.
Iba yung bilis ng paa.
Pero coach, ang naalala ko kasi recently yung Halloween. Kalokohan nitong CRISS ginagaya nila si Coach Tai. But it's now a 7-point lead for the King Crunchers as CHICHI is trying to play catch-up here. Service is coming from number 10.
They get to double digits after not reaching double figures in that set 1 loss.
Pulverosa going up to Arbasto.
Ooh. Tough to guard. Hard to defend at the net.
And dun mo nakikita, Coach, yung
Bigat. Kung kakamayin mo lang sa ilalim, mahirap talaga.
yung athleticism.
Sobra. Super athletes ng mga to eh.
It was just a 2-step approach. Very beach volleyball coded.
That's the template that Coach Tai has built. Superior athletes.
And you would see a lot of the players, every time I see some of the King Crunchers, I'd say, Gabi, you look very conditioned. And they will just answer, it's the Coach Tai system, as they get another freebie here talking about the orange shirts.
You don't get to play for Coach Tai if you are not going to be in peak form.
Yes. Ang laki nung finit nung mga players na to as they lead by 9. Opposite side hitting coming from Sorio.
Yes.
Works off the block.
Sorio and Alicante continues to lead the way in scoring, but as you mentioned, will that be enough?
The spotlight has been on Sorio
Yes,
from the singing to the attack.
He has the power. He has the defense read. As Marinas will be the designated server here for Coach Obet Javier.
Trying to change things up here as they're down by 8. Marinas with a floater. Pagalay was there for the pickup. They go to Saura off the blockers. Marinas was there. Roldan goes up to Alicante, who
Side.
tips it over. Saura picked up there.
Wow.
Great coverage here coming from the side of CHICHI, but that ball will sail out.
Excellent defense coming from Roldan, but Lopez with a miss-hit.
And this has been the cause of the cheer from the sidelines earlier by the King Crunchers. Riquinton checking in for Crisscross.
Another former bronze medalist in the Southeast Asian Games for beach volleyball, product of UST.
And the designated captain will be Eden Villados, as Pemi Bagalay will be serving for the King Crunchers. Roldan will go up to the left pin. That's picked up by Sumangid. Saura adjusting.
Nice.
Riquinton with that coverage. They go up to Jaron. Jaron off the block. Jaron again will try. This time, that works.
Arbasto, Riquinton making the most out of the floor time. Rewarding Coach Tai Bundit for trusting them to try and close out this set. Up 10 after a close one to open up set number 2. King Crunchers once again dominant after the midpoint of this set.
The last time I was here in the Spikers Turf as an audience member, I was with Eliza Valdez, the president, and she mentions that it is Jaron Riquinton who is going for that tip and getting that point for Crisscross. Jaron Riquinton, for the trivia, is one of the few who can really copy how she moves in the volleyball court.
I'd like to see that.
And he did right after their game previously. Let's see if he will show some of those tricks. Alicante adjusting, and that is denied by Glorioso, who has been very effective here in this set. And that gives Crisscross the second set. Let's look at that again.
It took a little longer, but you knew that it was coming. It was imminent. And when Crisscross was able to establish their blocking at the net, once again, it was an imposing win, second straight, coming up with that scoreline against the tough fighting minute of CHICHI Titans.
Back here inside in our sports arena as we continue the coverage for your 2024 Spikers Stars Invitational Conference. It's the third to the last day of the preliminaries, and we just finished a second set wherein CRISS has fielded in their stringers, and they have showed and flexed how deep their bench is, still winning in a dominant fashion.
The good news for the Titans, they had 10 attack points in that set 2 loss. The not so good news, 5 blocks for the King Crunchers and 15 attack points. Good news for King Crunchers, only 3 errors. Not so good news for CHICHI Titans, they had 5 errors. And anytime we're behind by this much, the marginal allowance for a misstep is paper thin, and that is exactly what happened. It was close in the early goings, but eventually it was not. As another imposing set was delivered by the King Crunchers, winning by 12 with those numbers.
And more impressive performance from CHICHI, as we'd like to say Arena Plus, astig sa sports. We'd like to recognize some volleyball players, women's volleyball players here. Of course, our friend Jamie La Victoria, who also covers with us, together with Therese Gaston and Bets Abelia. And we have more fans here, as we're seeing Martelli meets Butchers Bundok, and Arena is starting to have a lot of faces joining us here, watching the exciting action on a Wednesday afternoon.
Correct, as the Spikers turf continues to gather traction among our followers and the live audience as well. Do join us on our play dates, and the next play date will be on Friday, and then Sunday.
Sunday will be the last play date of the preliminaries, if I'm not mistaken. And if you can't join us here, you may join us wherever you may be. We're always going to be in One Sports Plus.
And in our different social media platforms as well.
And of course, Pilipinas Live, Coach.
That's a constant. Attack rate comparative number, 74% for the King Crunchers in set 1, 18% for the Titans. In set 2, better for the Titans. Good news, they were at 34%, doubling or doubling their attack rate. Not so good news, 65% still for King Crunchers at 15 of 23. My goodness, that's really good.
That is, and I'm sure, knowing Coach Tai, the perfectionist that he is, he still wants better, higher percentage.
And more.
And more. And more is it. And it is coming from Gian Glorioso.
10 points for Glorioso to add on to his 58-point output after 8 games. Or 7 games. Because this team is at 6-1. Have won their last 4 matches. Talking about King Crunchers.
Leading scorer is Glorioso, of course, for the side of CRISS, and Alicante from the side of CHICHI, as Quinton tips that over to the side of CHICHI.
Coming from Glorioso, that's teamwork. Giving their teammates who have not played the longest floor time a chance to also do their share and show their brilliance as well.
Oh, that serve goes straight to the net. That's a freebie for the Titans. It's a 2-point lead for the orange shirts as Sorio serves. Villados goes up to Riquinton. That's popped up there. Easy over.
Oh, nice. Off speed.
That works.
Catching that campfire defensively for CRISS.
Matthew Miguel, who's been quite silent in the previous sets, joins in.
That's hardly played. Has hardly gotten his touches. And remember, this team is without their primary setter in Ferdinand Deniega. Miguel, that's Matthew Miguel, had 3 points last time that this team played. Matthew Miguel is number 35 in scoring, the second leading scorer for the Titans with 48 points in 8 games.
Glorioso with that serve. They go up to a quick Del Pilar, pushing it over. That set coming from Glorioso straight to Saura, who converts it to a point.
Target practice for Francis Sora continues. 10 for Glorioso, 9 for Sora, the 2 leading wing hitters for this afternoon's match for Coach Tai Bundit.
Glorioso now serves, picked up by Sorio. Oh, and Giga manning the net.
My goodness. 11 blocks. least for CRISS. 77 heading to this game, plus 11, that's 88 to lord it over the rest of the opposition.
Glorioso adds another ace
Misread.
into his stat line.
Straight to zone 1. Misread coming from Nathan Osorio, the pride of San Juan.
Look at that again. Glorioso going for that floater, and that drops right in zone 1. Glorioso going for another serve. This time, Osorio picks it up. Alicante adjusting off the blockers. Glorioso was there for coverage. Villados going for a quick. Oh, and Giga gets a check.
Between zone 1 and zone 6. Glorioso with 12 points, 7 of 7 at 100% efficiency rate. Up 6. First technical timeout, set number 3.
Back at the NR Sports Arena for your Spikers Turf 2024, Jonathan Osorio, aka Bea. Ang nakita nating kumanta kanina is actually a professional singer on the side. Sabi niya, ang dali naman nung pinakanta, palagi ine-expect ko Whitney Houston. But speaking of being a professional, Bea was able to control his expectations and emotions even before the conference started. Said that, alam ko naman, hindi magiging madali. Being one of the few veterans of the CHICHI team, marami na daw silang napagdaanan magkakasama. PNG League, laban ng lahi sa Surigao, but this, their Spikers Turf stint has got to be the most credible. They will close the curtain this year with pride na pangarap lang daw dating makalaban sina Jude Garcia, Jao Umandal, ngayon nasa kabila na ng net. They will definitely add this to their Knowledge Cup for next conference. Sinjin Cotroni.
Thank you so much, Mika. Well, it's also about a learning experience, and at the end of it all, you know, this is the start of their program. We're very much excited. We've heard that they will be joining the February conference of the Spikers Turf. And let's see how they'll improve, because that's what's exciting when you follow teams who are underdogs at the beginning. 7-point lead here for CRISS as CHICHI gets to side out. Del Pilar will be serving for the Titans. That's picked up by Bagalay. Villados goes up to Saura. Saura gets that off the hands of CHICHI. Look at that again. The back set to Saura. That gives him his 6th attack point.
If you can hear the sound when they hit, when they strike, you can sense that it's going to be very hard for the opposing team to return that shot or keep that ball alive. The power, the skill, and the mindset. All that completes the package for this team, talking about the King Crunchers, and that's why they are one of the top teams in the country at present.
Yes. And,
kasi signal pa rin ng gold standard lumalabas sa ngayon, di ba?
And they've been knocking on that door for the past few conferences since their inception.
But the entry of CRISS in the Spikers Turf landscape really has increased the level of competition.
And it has also increased the interest, because
Correct.
you now have a rivalry.
That's right.
Someone is, before it was the Air Force squad that was
Yes.
going up against Signal. Now you have another commercial team really challenging the HD Spikers. As 8-point lead for CRISS here goes down to 7 after that hit goes out.
A rare miss for CRISS.
Serve coming from Alicante. They go up to Bagalay. Bagalay converting.
Off that diagonal. Perfect placement. Again, the blocker is nowhere in sight. After a close one in the early goings in set 2. This is an early runaway for crisscross.
Oh,
Miss hit.
Yeah. Wrong contact.
Look at Coach Ty.
Ayaw niya yung mga ganyan eh. I remember when...
Nagulat siya sa baba nung
yeah.
it happens.
But I would recall, Coach, when I was working closely with Coach Tai, back in the day, he would always say, the serve is always your first attack. And losing the serve is already losing half the battle.
That's the first line of offense.
Yeah.
Coach Ty.
Yan ang pinakamatagal niyang pinapatrain lagi. Service.
Yan sa kapasing. 1 and 2.
Yes, 1 and 2. Tapos yung spiking, bahala ka na mag-overload minsan. But I think here in crisscross, it's very obvious there's an element of blocking joining the mix. Because the blocking has been something that has been bread and butter.
Stellar. League best so far for them. All this is in preparation, of course, for the deeper stretch of this competition.
And I think that's very similar to the system that he has with his former male team in Thailand.
National team or a club team.
Yeah, the Nakonrachissima team in Thailand. He would really impose blocking when he handles male squads. Villados going for that quick, and that quick tip coming from Glorioso gives an 8-point lead to crisscross as Coach Obet will be calling time again.
Dami kasi natin sa pasa. Kasi sa pasa tayo, wala kasi tayo nabablock eh. Diba? Kahit sahurin lang natin. Para at least yung maka-counter-attack natin yung paano nila. Bumagal man lang para at least makuha natin. Tao-tauhin na lang natin. Mag-usap kasi kayo sa harapan. Kunyari, ito, spiker, tatlo tao. Ganun ha? Go tayo! Kaya pa yan!
Bawi lang.
Go kasi!
Bye, guys!
Timeout coming from Coach Obet, but most of the timeout was maximized by their players. Lopez was leading that one, reminding everyone that they have to have a good first ball. They have problems in their blocking, that's why they have to adjust it from the floor defense. As crisscross still
passing
leads
is essential, as you
by
pointed out
8.
earlier. Serving and passing.
Lopez going for that tip. He is denied by Saura and Glorioso. The long arms of Saura and Glorioso, to be precise. And crisscross leads here by 9 as we head on to the second technical timeout. We'll be back here at the Spikers turf.
Always move forward. Yun yung isa sa mga quote na talagang tumatak sa akin. Kasi very perfect siya pagdating sa volleyball. Kasi you don't have to think about the mistake. You always have to think what's next and what's forward. The journey won't be easy. There's always gonna be bumps. But at the end of the day, if we know how to move forward, kaya natin i-let go lahat yun at pag-isipan what's gonna happen next.
May pagkamakata naman pala ang ating mga manlalaki.
Siyempre naman. Points to ponder.
Yes.
Your
A great
guides in
quote.
life.
A great quote coming from Pemi Balgalay as we remind you that your favorite NBA superstars on NBA TV Philippines are now available on Signal Play. Download the Signal Play app on the App Store or Google Play Store and subscribe now to catch all the action in the new NBA season. We were talking about it off air, Coach Ron. You have a favorite, of course, and I'm sure you're watching that on NBA
I do.
TV Philippines.
Every night. If I have time.
Yeah, kasi wala ka ng time mag-catch up sa movie, so basketball na lang.
Pwede.
It's an 11-point lead for crisscross.
And another offensive block here delivered by crisscross. They had 10 blocks total in the first 2 sets, and it has been relentless. I talk about the effort in terms of net defense.
CHICHI has been trying, but crisscross has been very effective in all scoring percentages. Riquinton adding and joining the charge there.
74% in set 1, 63% in set 2. Probably around that level here in set 3 as the double sub sets in for Coach Tai.
Very different double sub because the setter replaced the setter and left or the right wing spiker replaced a right wing spiker.
On-court captain is Jewel Asia, who also serves as an assistant coach for the Echo Oilers of De La Salle.
Riquinton, second regalo, back to back.
Another overpass on the part of the Titans. They will be down by 13.
You could credit half of that to the tough serve of Femi Pagalay. Femi on the serve. They lead by 13. Oh, another tough serve. Bump set going to Lopez. Lopez denied there. Coverage was there from Alicante. They go up to Lopez, who gives up a chance ball. Femi gives it to Asia. Asia going to Riquinton off the blockers.
Has scored at least 3 of the last 4 points. Talking about Jaron Riquinton, Southeast Asian Games bronze medalist, together with Guti Garcia and Arpasto, among others.
Femi with that serve. Bumps it again to Lopez. Lopez denied once again by Glorioso.
Definitely a glorious day in the afternoon for Gian Glorioso. 2 games ago, he was the best player for CRISS. And he's at the top of his game once again this afternoon.
Pagalay with that serve. A dump coming from the setter of CHICHI. Asia going to Riquinton, who checks the line this time.
That was a cut shot delivered by Riquinton.
Well, it was an open air space, no blockers.
Wala talaga eh. Oo.
So, he had all the angles available.
Si Del Pilar lang talaga yung matangkad-tangkad dito, but in terms of block attempts, at least talagang mababa for them.
It's going to be a 17-point lead, make that an 18-point lead now.
Pagalay has been there for the longest time, and he has punished the reception or the passing here of the Titans, who are behind right now by 17 match points.
Pagalay with a serve, and that is picked up there by CHICHI. Oh, and how poetic. They close it out with another block. This has been the story. The middles closing the set out. If I'm not mistaken, Glorioso even did also the first set. The second set surely was by Gian Glorioso. And here the third set, he finishes things off for Crisscross.
Methodical win. Merciless even, if you may call it. Probably in under an hour at the very least. But the bottom line is they get their 7th win in 8 games and earn a spot in the semifinals.
It's a straight set win for Crisscross as they try to crunch their way to the semifinals. They have now secured a spot, and this 3-set win will be added to their tally. Meanwhile, CHICHI closes things out with a gallant effort, as we will see you with our player of the game only here at the Spikers Turf.
Sorry. Sorry.
Back at the Inara Sports Arena for your Spikers Turf 2024. And right now, I am with the best player of this match, who is Gian Glorioso. Congratulations. Gian, as everybody is preparing for the next round, I heard intense na talaga yung practices nyo, no?
Yeah.
And we saw, of course, your efforts today. 8 out of 8 sa attacks. Kamusta ka?
Yeah, definitely locked in lang. We're treating each game as a way to prepare for the semis. Ganon. So walang off days. So no matter sino kalaban, we always try to give our best talaga.
You spoke about yung kalaban nyo today. You completely dominated this match. I know how you're preparing physically, but mentally, how are you going into the semis?
Definitely mentally, parang we're just trying to gel as a team. More teamwork, more chemistry, and obviously trust in each other. Yan lang.
Alright, maraming salamat. Do you want to greet anybody?
I would like to greet my family, my teammates, yung girlfriend ko, yung management, CRISS, Sir Alan, tsaka si Ma'am Lizana nandun yan. Yeah, yun lang. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat. Once again, the best player of this match is Gian Glorioso. Balik sa inyo, Sinjin, Coach Ronnie.
Thank you so much, Mika. As we look back at the highlights of that third set, it was an epic performance from CRISS. I don't know if this is record time here at the Spikers Turf, but it has been one of the fastest games we have covered.
Might be, and give credit where credit is due, of course. I think Crunchers making sure that the challenge was going to be limited on the part of the Brotherhood Titans. They played their best in that set to loss, but eventually first set and third set were dominant sets for CRISS. And the numbers in the third set will speak volumes on the kind of net defense that generated 14 offensive blocks. 14 of the 75 points of CRISS coming from that department. And when CRISS started limiting their errors, they only totaled 10 in 3 sets. It was an uphill climb for the Brotherhood Titans to stay close, especially in the final set.
CHICHI had a similar stat line in terms of opponent errors. However, it was the scoring skills that kind of lacked in that previous match. Now coming up next, it is your PGJC Navy Sea Lions going up against the Martelli Meats Master Butchers in another exciting game here in the Spikers Turf. Now on behalf of our director, Koy Yupanco, together with our game producer, Ron Enriquez, and the men and women behind Signal TV, our courtside reporter, Mika Besamis, my partner, Coach Ronnie Magsanok. This has been Sinjin Reyes, thanking you for joining us here at the Invitational Conference of the Spikers Turf, where power meets passion.